Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Shiggles podcast. I am that guy Rickster.
Hi, Darian here, guys.
Uh, and
What the hell was that for?
no, just look on your face when you said it, like rolling your eyes and everything. I wish the people could see you sometimes.
Mm, 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 mm.
But anyway, you take the lead this week. You brought up a tweet to me, so let's get into it with that.
But before we get into that, how has your week been?
Oh, okay. It was all right.
Okay, that's good to
That's
know.
that's all I will say.
Uh, the
Okay.
people want to
Oh,
know. The audience would like to find out.
it was okay.
Okay,
We will say that much.
all
How
right.
was yours?
It was all right. Towards the end, it's just a little chaotic emotionally, but it's been
Mm,
all right. So this week, what we're gonna do this talk about this week is friendships,
and
specifically
community.
showing up for your friends. The whole idea of having a village, and not just a village like family per se, but having a village within your friends, associates, whosoever you interact with, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get into this because there's this discourse, there's this conversation that's been going on. Well, I don't really use Instagram like that because Instagram is very silly, but I've been seeing it on Twitter, and it's spilled
X.
over into we don't say X, Twitter, and it's spilled over into TikTok. So like I'm seeing multiple tweets and
Mm-hmm.
videos about the same topic,
So
and
what's this tweet?
basically this tweet. I'm not sure if it's the original tweet, but it's saying that your friends are not obligated to help you move, especially after 30. Higher movers, it's not that deep. No. Whenever I see conversations and tweets like this of people expressing how they view friendships and how they think people should approach friendships, especially in their case, it makes me realize how individual society has gotten. And I said this the other day, completely unrelated to a friend, that back home when I was living in the country, like it was so much easier to survive because, for example, I raise chickens, you raise cows, like we would just exchange, and that would, in short, like prevent us like from spending for a lot of things because I have a mango, you have this, and we just exchange. So I look at
True.
this to say that society has become so, and it was like this in our parents' time, grandparents' time, where we relied so much on each other, not necessarily to be codependent, but we helped each other out. You have a friend who is moving, we rally up the group of friends, we all go move some boxes, we go help them
I've
paint,
helped
we
many of
help them
friends
get
moved.
situated. But it's like seeing things today is like friends are like, oh, you shouldn't be calling me all the time, you shouldn't be asking me for favors all the time. And I can understand if it's a abusive thing, but like if you genuinely need help and you call a friend and be like, hey, come help me do this, or hey, come help me go to the store. I do not understand why in modern society today, in this decade, it's seen as such a taboo, needy, clingy thing.
So you know how you're always playing devil's advocate?
Hmm.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a
That's fine.
sec. Okay, so based on the tweet that you just read, that sounds like somebody who's just letting off steam. Maybe a friend of theirs was moving, right? And they were probably busy, but the person got upset with them or like wasn't talking, like having them up over it or whatever. So they're saying, I'm not obligated to help you move. I could be doing something else, sir.
It could be,
That's, yeah,
it
that's,
could be.
I'm
But the
saying
reason
that.
why, the reason why I don't think it's that is because this isn't one of the only tweets or
Mm-hmm.
conversations I've seen like this. I've seen
Okay.
multiple other with different scenarios, and it just shows me how people today view friendships.
And not
Um,
only that, but they're just all selfish as well. I've
Selfish
been
and
saying that
terrible
a lot
people.
lately.
And I'm also gonna kind of get into why I think this is per se as well. But moving is hard
It is.
and it's expensive. You
Packing and
call,
unpacking.
not even just that. You say you get all of that done and you call movers to be like, hey, you just need to come and move this and move that to X. And you're thinking you're gonna get like a nice little coat because you probably just have a little TV, a little refrigerator for like $100. They're gonna be like, oh, our starting price is like $700, $600.
It's very expensive.
If I can go and I have the time to go help my friend move or to do whatever it is, I really don't see a problem in that. And the thing is that like society has become so it's so centered around individualism that it's you're expected to do everything on your
By
own.
yourself.
And
Yeah.
this is what makes it way harder because a lot of things to do these days comes with spending money. And if you have a group of friends, or if you can help a friend out and a friend can help you out so that we can save money, I think things would have been way more better. But it's just like everything is do it yourself.
That's true. But it's and not only with the whole moving and doing things by yourself. I mean, because the whole a part of the topic that you added, it said friendship and community. But I think we all should have like a community around us, because without those shoulders to kind of like lean on, you kind of find that you may fall into bursts of depression that you just don't know where it's coming from. And it could be that you just don't have anybody around you who you could like just talk to or fall back on should anything happen. Because a friend of mine said something to me today, actually, because I was telling her about how my week has been. And she said verbatim, I think it's because you don't have a community where you are. And I'm like, that sounds right.
Which is true because I think one of the things we don't realize or we don't appreciate enough is that when you have people around you where you hang out together, you do things together, and it's not, going to a bar or a club or, on a cruise or on a trip.
Just
Just do simple
being.
things, just being.
Yeah.
It gives you insight and like it distracts you from the thing that's going on. It also help you like to have more
Yes, it
clarity
does.
because your mind gets so clear from hanging out with people who gives you good energy. But because you're always by yourself, it forces you to think and pushes you into depression and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe in the whole thing of, you know, that saying where it takes a village to raise a child, and you can move it further from like raising a child. Like if I have a friend who say they know how to paint, they can come
Or
and help me paint my apartment.
just leave it at it takes a village.
Yeah,
Just that. Because it really does.
but
Because I realized when I was in Jamaica the other day, even though I was there for like 4 days, I noticed when I came back, I was still on somewhat of a
a high.
high of like, oh my gosh, I got to see family, I got to see friends. It was so much fun, even though it was for a somber occasion. But the fact that I was just around people who were just caring for me and stuff like that, and me caring for them and all that jazz, it just really felt great. And then a few weeks later, here I am. I'm
Again,
here
it's
and I'm
all
just
over
like,
off.
whoop to do, here alone.
Which is why I don't hang out a lot with like my friends, but they're like all over the freaking place. But I at
Yeah.
least like take my phone up and call people sometime because I realize when we talk about regular conversation, like the different things that we do and like we laugh and like it kind of distracts me like for a moment. I'm
Yes, it
able to get
does.
some real like it's like I have like a renewal on life, a sort of sense. Like I feel happy
Mm-hmm.
again. So I don't understand why this generation is so hell bent on individualism. I do not get it at all. But I saw two videos about that topic that gave me some insight as to why that may be.
Could one of them be the fact that they are living in more of a technological age where they're just by
Yes,
themselves in their
that is the
rooms,
first. That
just
is the
texting
first one.
away.
That is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And the person mentioned that they first noticed this when they work in retail.
Yeah.
Say like they said something like T-Mobile, Verizon, something like that, and they realize that the younger generation will come in. They either know it or know how to find it by themselves. So they don't need help. They don't ask for help. Or even if they do need to ask for help, they don't ask because they just think it's such a taboo thing. But
Yeah.
boomers who grew up in a society where you never knew something, you had to go ask your friend next door, you had to go open a book, are still very much stuck on the fact that we help each other to learn and to
Yeah.
move on. And this, he said that this gave him insight as to why we act the way we do and they act the way they do.
Because
No,
they can just go on the app and just find exactly which aisle it's in. Whatever
yeah.
they're looking for, just walk in and pick it up.
And a boomer who was raised in a society where they didn't have the internet, access to phones and all of that, would think, "Oh, I don't know. I must ask a person."
Yeah.
And when I was going through the comments, older people were like, "Yeah, because back in the day, if we needed this, da 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 da, we would go next door. We'll ask this person, or we would intentionally meet up at a bar, five, six of us, to have a conversation about all the things we don't know." So there's like a sharing of information, a sharing of, I help you to do this, you help me to do that.
Yep.
But
That's
now
true.
society has taught us that you have everything, you should do it yourself.
It's all online. You can just go online and figure it out yourself. So you
And
don't need anybody.
it gave me a little bit of insight as to why the idea of a community is going away. The other one, which
Mhm.
I saw, which gave me brand new perspective, I was seething because this is exactly what this structure does. This structure keeps society at a standstill, and that is capitalism.
Oh,
And the person
yes.
was explaining that capitalism basically ingrained into us that you pay for everything, everything is transactional. So that also breeds into the fact that people are like, oh, I'm not coming to help you for free, even though you're my friend. You either gotta pay me or pay somebody else to do it. So everything is transactional, and this is seeding over into friendships being transactional as well.
That makes
And I
sense.
was so mad because I'm like, this thing has gone from just we gotta pay for everything to turning every situation, relationships, friendships, romantic, everything thing into being transactional. So now it's like
Yep.
it doesn't matter who you are. I'm not doing that for free.
But not only that, it's like we also live in a society now where it's just work. Like you just work, work, work all day long, and that's it. Work to pay bills, work to just survive, really. There's no room for enjoyment in some cases because all you do is just work.
And it's so crazy because it
Yeah.
has taught us to be divided
Mm-hmm.
down to the very core, which
And
is a
that's
bad
sad.
thing because if it is that we come together as a community in whatever the issue may be, like I don't think we've had like a lot of these social issues and shit like that, but it's so ingrained, which I call capitalism modern day slavery. In a
Yeah.
sense, it's just slavery with wages.
As I just said, you're just working all day,
It's just slavery with wages, and you
working to
hardly
pay
get, yeah,
bills.
and you hardly get the time to even hang out with people or to do stuff
Exactly.
because everything is so money centered. Is that like you don't have, if you're not working your ass off to afford this life, you don't have time to go have these interactions, or
And it's
schedules are all over the
exact.
place,
I
so
was
I
about
don't
to
have the
say it's so
time
hard to
to
even
leave and go help
schedule
my friend
time.
who had a new baby or some shit like that.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
everybody's on different schedules. Nobody has really the same days off anymore. So it's just
and it
when are you
yeah,
free? Oh, I'm
right,
free. I'm free 5 Fridays from now. Oh, I'm not
free.
free 5 Fridays from now. I'm free Fridays from now. Oh, we can't do anything then. It's fine. We'll
And
plan something. But then it just never
it
happens
never
because
happens.
it's just you're just always working.
And I looked at it like this, and I'm like, right now I have say four friends, some more closer friends than some, but to hang out, we live in the same city.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. New York is a huge place, but it doesn't take us long to everybody meet up in Manhattan. But because I work nights, you work days, you don't have this day off, you work this, you have that. For us to just meet up one day in the week to hang out is difficult as hell. Because when I'm off, you're working. When I'm
When you're
working,
working.
you're either working or you have another job to attend to, something else to attend to.
Yeah.
And I don't even have the time. Like, I was moving the other day, my friend was like, "Why didn't you ask me to come help?" I'm like, "I'm off today. You're not off. You can't call off. How are you going to?" So
Exactly.
when the person brought up capitalism, I just wanted to. I wish capitalism was a person. I could
You
just
could choke them.
squeeze her by the neck, and then just pop it. So,
Oh,
like, but it's crazy. But I
it's
am
a
not.
crazy time we're living in, actually.
I'm not the sort of person who thinks like that. Unless you're directly draining me or taking advantage of me. If you're a friend of mine, if you say I need to go jump, and I have the chance to go jump, yeah, we're jumping.
Yeah, like you show up for
Showing There's
friends.
nothing wrong with showing up for people, and I don't think people understand how important it is to show up for people, even if you can't give them anything like money or advice.
Just being there
Just being
sometimes
there
help.
sometimes help a lot. I do
Yep.
not get why it is such a bad thing to show up for people. Oh, you're being too clingy. I don't want friends who are too clingy around me all the time. I do not get it. I know every time I see tweets or conversations like this, I'm like, y'all
Those
are
things
terrible
annoy
people
me.
and terrible friends.
It rubs me the wrong way every time I see stuff like that. I don't remember what I saw. I think you know I'm not on the Twitter like that as much as you are.
They're probably the
But
other side, but not the regular side. But yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
Anywho, so so basically, it's one of those things where they're like, oh God, I can't remember exactly what he's saying, but I just remember I got so annoyed seeing it because I'm like, nobody really thinks like this. Maybe you're the problem, and it's not the people who are around you. You sound like you're the problem, so maybe you should figure out what's going on with you, why you think this way. It's just weird to me how people think these
Because people are
days.
like, oh, I don't want my friend texting me all the time. I don't want my friend talking to me
Yes,
all the
like
time.
stuff like that. Stuff
And I'm
like that.
like,
Like,
do y'all actually like the people who you call friends? Because for me, I get it. I do not like people talking to me at all, especially if you don't got shit to say to me. But my actual friends, we have such a rapport that if you send me a meme, if you shoot me like something like a conversation or some topic or something like that, we're able to have like a good conversation
yes, and we can
regardless
talk
of how
about
busy
it.
I am. I don't get why it's so bad. Like, you can talk to your friends. And every time I see these things, like, I wish I could see the person in real life and just pop them by the neck, because I'm like,
Slap them. Wake
you are
up.
being terrible people. There's
Yes.
absolutely nothing wrong with your friends asking you for
And
favors.
then the thing is, with everybody wanting to be the main character, so it's
Like,
like
it's not a competition, and
it's
that's one
really
of the
not.
issue too.
It's
Because one
really
of the
not.
issue is that people be competing with the persons who they call their friends, so helping them or showing up for them in ways that probably might elevate them, or to a point where they're not at as yet, they see it as, oh, I don't want you getting above me or higher than me, and I hate that sort of mindset.
Like you should celebrate the milestones that your friend achieves, because I've always said this, like nothing happens at the same time for everyone. So
Exactly.
maybe it's just their time, like celebrate with them, instead of sitting around and getting all upset and saying like, why me? Celebrate them. And when your time comes, they'll celebrate you.
And it's so crazy to think, because friendships can be such a beautiful thing.
Yes, it can. Well, yes, they can.
But people just look at it just like it's a hindrance, and
Like I'm a
I do not understand it.
like I'm a very loyal person when it
Very
comes to like my
to the
friendships.
cause.
It takes a lot for me to be like, I'm done. So I'm the type who I'm going to show up for my friend. If my friend is celebrating anything, I will show. If I'm not even able to be there physically, best believe I'm going to call, we're going to talk, we're going to FaceTime, and I'm going to be excited for you because we're friends. If you're going through something tough, I am the one. You can call me, we can sit on the phone for hours and we can just talk if you just need somebody to talk to.
But don't be
Because,
abusive or one-sided.
well, yeah,
Because
that's
people be
true.
like that, which eventually makes people snap and stop and then be like, oh, I don't understand why. But everything is a two-way street.
Yeah, and then it can become draining. But then, if it's like good friendships, you all know and understand each other and know when it's time to get off the damn phone.
Point taken. Just like I
Yeah.
said to you earlier, like when it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. But
What was that? What was that neck movement? What the hell was that?
no, because if you know me, I'm a very straightforward person. I lay my boundaries down and I don't be shy about it. If I'm on the phone and it's time for me to go do whatever I want to go do, I'm like, listen, you've been on my phone too long. I need to go watch some anime. It's time to wrap this up.
Oh yes, I've gotten that a few times,
But it's not a
but we
bad
move.
thing.
I know it's not.
It's not a bad thing, right? Boundaries are there in friendships, and you respect it, whatever, whatever. But this is the last thing I want to say about that. Show up for your friends,
Mm-hmm.
please. If you really love and value this person, and this person is having a tough time financially, if you can help, you help. If you can't help but you know avenues to help, show up for that person. If this person needs
Yep.
you to come pick them up from the airport, show up for this person if you can. Everything doesn't have to be transactional. In fact, if you love somebody and you're doing things for them, like, you shouldn't even be looking at it be like, oh, I expect this back. You should be doing it from the kindness of your heart because you love this person. It's a different case if you say, hey, pick me up at the airport, and then you say, hey, I don't have any money for gas right now. Can you give me some? And I'll do. That's a different, but it's still, along the line of showing up for the person. You're meeting the person halfway. I'll provide the car, you provide the gas, sort of thing. It is not a bad thing to show up for people you care about.
Don't be a Sheldon Cooper.
Okay, I don't watch the Bill Band there,
Yeah,
but
somebody out there will get that
but,
reference.
but yeah, please do it.
But in the same breath, just don't abuse it.
Don't abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be the one-sided friend where the friend gotta show you for you all the time when you're having your man problems, all of these things. You're draining this person energy, but when this person finally wants something back, oh, I don't have the time, I
You
don't know how
don't
to deal with this,
reciprocate.
you don't reciprocate the energy. That's where people generally have problems with. Because eventually that person is gonna be like, but I'm always busting my ass for you, and then whenever it comes to me, it's like oh, no, and maybe absolutely not.
I have stories, but anyway,
We're not doing
that's for another
one-sided
day.
relationships.
And also build communities because you never know when you'll just need someone, even if it's just to talk to. And
Also,
that person who is there to talk to that one time might be the person who saves your life.
um,
You may never know.
and no matter how much we think we got it financially or all of that, we all need a little lift sometimes,
That's true. As they say, check on your strong friends because they need help too.
right? And if we were more dependent, we would have been like codependent, not in a bad way. It would have been so much better. Like, we help
But
each other out.
before we end this part of the show, that saying, like, check on your strong friends, everybody right now kind of is the strong friend. Like,
Because we're
as
all
you
going through
they-
some shit.
we're all going through some shit, but we're all just we're all just putting forth this exterior
Facade.
of
This,
this facade of I am strong, I'm okay, I'm fine, when we're really not.
To be honest, with inflation and all of that, I know for sure, no matter how much money, if I have 2,000, you making 4,000, we all going through some sort of arm stress.
It is. We're all going through
It is
something.
crazy. The
Even if
least
it's not financial, like
financial. Yeah.
emotionally, physically, like we're all going through something. But yeah,
But with
just
that
be good
said,
friends.
do we have a what you're watching this week? Because I don't really have.
I don't think I have one either. What I'm watching this week, you're not watching that.
What's
You
that?
don't watch Grey's Anatomy,
Oh
so
hell no! They need to burn that hospital
you don't.
down.
Oh,
It's been 20 something years.
and it's
Pack
going
it
to
up.
21, and we don't mind. I still
Pack
love
it.
it. And you don't
Pack
watch
it up.
911 either, do you?
I don't.
Okay, so
Um.
I guess this is going to be a short week. Then we don't have a this week segment, so we're just going to end it here. Nice and short. Unless you have something else to say.
I don't have nothing else to say.
Okay. Well, with that, guys, this has been another episode of Shiggles. I'm that guy Rickster, as always.
And this was Darren, and I just want to say for everyone that has been tuning in on a weekly basis, I want to thank you so much
Yes,
for
we do thank you.
coming along on this journey with us to throw shade, talk about serious things, and laughs and stuff like that.
And just be goofballs sometimes, just dumb.
But thank you guys.
Yes. Oh, and I didn't say it last week. We're wrapping up, but if you have anything you'd want to ask us, like anything you want to hear us talk about specifically, just send them over to Shiggles Podcast 23. That's the number 23 at gmail.com. And we will read them on the show. And with that, goodbye.
Bye, guys.